Hello mate, how's life? So I got a new mouse the other day, and my current mouse had done its day, and I thought it might be nice to do a quick unboxing and initial review of it. I've been using Razer mice for about 15 years now. The Mamba and Deathadder shape just fits my hand perfectly. So, with that in mind, I'll be talking about this new Deathadder V2, and also somewhat comparing it to my previous Deathadder Chroma. Alright, let's get into it. Hey, I'm Sean, Aussies24 on Twitch, where I stream every Sunday through Thursday. Feel free to drop in sometime. So before we get too far into this video, I just want to mention that it's not a paid review. I'm not getting anything from it. I'm not affiliated with Razer in any way. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so by clicking the like button, subscribing to the channel, and it costs you nothing really, but it is a big help to me. So thanks if you do. That being said, I do generally like Razer products, apart from the Mamba that I broke within a few months of first buying it. Okay, let's get into some stats. The big selling point that Razer lists for the V2 is that it now comes with optical switches. The main benefit of this is that in some cases with normal switches, they can double click when it's unintended. The optical switch should stop this from happening. It can obviously still happen if you accidentally press the button twice. So, according to the Razer website, the V2 has 20,000 dpi optical sensor. This is double that of my current Deathadder Chroma. I'll be interested to see if it actually makes any noticeable difference in any way. I mean, I get that if you have a 1000 dpi mouse and move to 10 or 11,000 dpi, it's going to be a huge noticeable difference. I'm just not sure that between 10 to 20,000, that fine difference is going to make a massive change to my life. The Chroma was very accurate, so I wonder if I'll notice a difference or if it's just a higher stat so they can say that they have the higher stats on their boxes. I've got no idea how many times I've clicked the two mouse buttons, but I very much doubt it'd be close to anywhere in the number of tens of millions. So the 70 million clicks that the V2 is rated for seems a little overkill, but again, it's good to have it. But then I might be wrong. I've got no idea how many clicks is standard for the average gamer mouse life. If you know, comment below and let me know. There's 8 programmable buttons on the V2, where the Chroma had only 5. I do use all 5, so it'll be interesting to see if I make use of the extra 3 buttons, or not, as they seem slightly awkwardly placed for the in-game uses. You know, where you're looking to easily reach and press the button very quickly and accurately, but they are good for people that like to run different sensitivity settings for different situations, etc., to change on the fly, I suppose. The new cable they're using seems like it's going to be great. One of my big pet peeves with the Chroma's braided cable is it's too stiff for me to have enough cable on the desk to smoothly move the mouse around. I needed to have a pile of cable on the desk, on the mouse pad, so that it didn't get caught on things. This meant at times that when I was lifting the mouse for fast turning movements and I put it back down on the cable, it really stuffs up your mouse movement. I'm primarily a first-person shooter player, so I play with low sensitivity, so lifting the mouse to fast turn is common. So the new SpeedFlex cable seems like it's going to be much more flexible, and I hope it'll fix this issue for me. Now Razer has the V2 listed as 82 grams, and I see this a lot in mouse advertisements. I assume if you're like crazy pro level player, that the difference between an 82 gram and 102 gram mouse is noticeable. For me, it's not really the case. I didn't notice the weight difference in any meaningful way. Honestly, if you're worried about the weight difference between a few extra grams and you're one of the people that says, but my arm gets sore or tired whenever I have to move the mouse around for hours, maybe time for you to do something about your strength training more so than looking for a slightly lighter mouse. Just my opinion though. Apparently the older Deathadders had standard stock feet on them, and this has 100% PTFE mouse feet. This is actually good because my old mouse feet actually wore out. If you're not sure what PTFE is, don't worry, I wasn't either. So I looked it up, and basically it's Teflon, but Teflon's the brand name, so they can't call it that. I assume PTFE Teflon will last longer, so that's a +2. The last 2 main points that Razer list on the website for the mouse are the 5 onboard memory profiles that you can have, and the instinctive scroll wheel. Seriously. Well, I like Razer products. The way they name some of these things is a bit dumb. Instinctive mouse wheel? Come on. Every mouse wheel is instinctive. You roll it forwards, you roll it backwards. It does the thing you expect it to do for that situation. I don't know why they need to give it these weird names. Okay, so that's what Razer had to say about the stats and what's new on the V2. I actually think they've left out a major selling point, especially if it's being sold to someone like me that has had previous versions. The side rubber grips on the older models would become loose and move around, or they'd come off. That's why I upgraded. The new design looks like they've fixed the issue completely, and I can't see this happening with the V2, as it's part of the body now. Also, it goes without saying, although I'm saying it, so I guess it goes with saying, that the V2 also comes with the full spectrum lighting that all the other Razer products and mice come with. All right, so here's your box. Looks pretty nice. Most of the Razer products have pretty good packaging. Very nice and shiny and what you expect. I don't know, it's a mouse box. It looks nice, it is pretty good for what it is. Got this nice little silky bit on the top. It is what it is. Let's just open it up and have a look. Packaging is pretty plain, just is standard packaging. All right, so that's nice. Comes with a nice little cover on it. And a profile button on the bottom that they didn't mention in anything that I'd read. It's actually noticeably lighter than the previous one. So I know I sort of mocked that a little bit, but it is not noticeably lighter. So my main issue with the previous ones was on here, there was this grippy bit was stuck on and would come loose and slide around and slide underneath it and stuff. But that looks like it's been fixed and it's still quite grippy. The clicks feel more noticeable, so that's good. The scroll feels similar. It is probably slightly, I don't know, it feels very similar. These are these Teflon but not Teflon sliders. That's actually better. On the previous ones, you had one big one at the bottom here, and then like a small one here and a small one here. Having that across the whole lot is going to make it much better, I think. And the cabling. Oh yeah, that is so much better. So this cable is super flexible now, which is awesome. But previously, if I went like that with it, it wouldn't bounce back. It would be bent like that. And it was really stiff. It would always, you'd have it laid out like that and you'd go to move it, it would sort of catch on things. This is so good. Heaps more flexible. I like it. It's going to be awesome. Cool. Well, I'll plug it in, give it a test, play for a while, and I will let you know how I like it in another week or so. Okay guys, well, I've had the mouse now for a couple of weeks. I've been using it pretty flat out, so I thought it's probably a good time to give you a bit of an update on where it's at. So with the main thing with it is the shape is slightly different. It does actually fit my hand much better. I play with a palm grip and it's like it's made to fit my hand perfectly. Obviously that's what they were trying to do, but everyone's hand sizes are different and it fits mine like a glove, pun intended. Right, the other main issue that I had with the old one was that the rubber grips on the side would move and come off eventually. It feels like on this one, as I said, that they've like built it into the side better so that it's not really able to come off, I would say, looking at the way that it is. I was a bit worried that the grip wasn't as strong. Well, it actually feels as good, if not better, than the previous one now, the way that my thumb fits on it, which is nice. The buttons, well, they do actually feel better. The main two clicking buttons do seem like they're a little bit more responsive than what the other ones were. Obviously, that's because of the light sensing button. And the side buttons, they stick out just a little bit more than what the previous one did and makes it much easier to tell where, if you're pressing them properly with your thumb, which previously, not that it was a huge issue, but now that I'm playing with this one, I noticed that it was a bit of an issue and it's much better on this one. The clicks on the thumb buttons are much more noticeable because it sticks out that little bit more. You can feel it very easily when you actually press the button in and out, which is nice. The sensitivity on it is crazy. I've actually had to dial it back just a little bit because it was too sensitive for my old reflexes. Other than that, the two buttons just below the scroller, which are for like your sensitivity settings, I was worried that maybe you'd be accidentally pressing them. I haven't done that. My 5-year-old has done that when she's been playing with it, but I think that was more a case of her just going, I'm going to press all the buttons and see what they will do, and not realizing that that's what it had done. So that's fine. They're sort of depressed, so you can't accidentally press them, which is good. That scroll wheel that I talked about before, it just feels like a scroll wheel. I haven't noticed any real difference with that. It's still fine, good the way it is. I like it, but it's not different. Not noticeably different at the very least. And lastly, the sliders, they feel really good, but they feel really good on every mouse when you first get them. The real test will be in a year or 2 years' time to see if they still feel really good at that point. Oh, and also last, I guess, sorry, the mouse cable with that extra flexible weave on it, or whatever they call it, it's noticeably better. The old one, I would move my mouse around and the cable would sometimes catch on stuff on my desk, or it would get jammed between the desk and the wall, or it would like try to bunch up onto my mouse pad, which meant that I couldn't move the mouse properly as precisely because it would kind of get jammed. With this new cable, it doesn't do that at all. It's really good, really flexible. It sort of just moves where you want it to, and it's great. I really like it. Big improvement. Cool. Let's get back to the video. So overall, I think the V2 is quite a nice mouse, and for the 112 Australian dollars I paid, it seems to be fairly priced for what it is. As I mentioned at the start, I like the shape of Death Adders, so it was always going to be a winner for me, unless Razer did something really silly with it, and they haven't. Would I recommend it for you to use? Yeah, as long as you like the shape in your hand, this is a great mouse and definitely worth the money. Now, as I mentioned at the start, I do stream on Twitch every Sunday, Monday and Tuesday nights from 6:30 PM Australian Eastern Time. If you want to drop by and say hi, please do. Love to see you there. I've got the link in the description below. Also, if I've helped you in any way with the video, please do click the like and subscribe button, as that also really helps me. And yeah, have a good day. Stay awesome. Thanks, mate. Hey guys, I'm just in the middle of editing the video and I realised I haven't actually put a shout out in there at all, so quick shout out to i3x, thanks for the comment mate and all the support.